good morning and good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Matt,
And I'm Ash. We're happy to have you join A Brighter Life.
a podcast series where we face the stigma of mental health by opening up the conversation with everybody. And this episode is episode 0. The struggle is real, but you're not alone. Ash, introduce us.
So, first of all, trigger warning. We are going to be covering a lot of various topics of mental health related struggles, most of which is very often hard to talk about. So, things like depression, anxiety, neurodivergency, antisocial behavior, imposter syndrome, foreshadowing, grief, loss, medication, not medication, self harm, etc.
And how will we approach this? Peer to peer conversation. We're not medical professionals, licensed therapists, or even certified coaches. We're just two individual humans on a journey to a brighter life, using our personal experiences and everything we've been through in the past from our own struggles. And basically, we're just going to go through each different type of mental health ailments and the struggles and just talk about them like two average human beings.
Yeah, just so you know, you're not alone. We go through it too. So, mostly about myself. I'm Ash, and I am ADHD neurodivergent. Late in life diagnosis. I was only barely in my 30s when I learned I do have ADHD and have probably had it my whole life. So, I'm still learning not only about ADHD, but about myself and how my brain works every day, along with what we call the cousins, depression and anxiety, all of which feed on each other.
Yeah.
I have been in the darkness, struggling with depression, anxiety, especially since my father passed away when I was 17. And again, trigger warning, my inability to cope with everything, I did start to self harm, but I have been able to stop that a long time ago. I've always been passionate about mental health awareness and support, something that was instilled by my mom with her own passion, with her own struggles, and her work in the mental and behavioral health field. Of course, I've been through therapy. I am on medication. I'm learning new skills. I've been able to slowly make my way out of the darkness towards a brighter life with the help of my fabulous co host, Matt.
Yeah, I mean it's a long time running, really, isn't it? We're both
Mhm.
we're both mid 30s. There's quite a lot of experience there. Myself, being I started suffering from a plethora of different things from an early age, around the age of 15. I had quite an interesting upbringing with a military style government family, so I was moving around a lot. Never really had the opportunity to make a lot of friends back in the day. I think I went to around 18 different schools before I hit the age of 20.
Ooh,
So I never really had that kind of support, and with busy parents, I never really had anybody to speak to. And then as I kind of warmed from the age of 16 upwards, I kind of started discovering anxiety. There was depression, loneliness. I had the inability to feel like I could succeed. And then, to be honest, from there, it kind of stemmed outwards. As I got older into my mid 20s, this is where depression, anxiety, and I'll be completely honest, suicidal thoughts and self harm did
mhm,
kind of kick in.
mhm,
So for me, it kind of stemmed from there. I have been on medication, which is sertraline, and recently I've actually kind of wean off them to a degree. So I am kind of engaging in a brighter life from a more kind of older age demographic, but we are getting there. We're getting there
mhm.
slowly, and we'll do it together. And we're going to kind of break the stigma, and in truth be
Yeah,
told, we're just going to conversate with people, conversate with each other, and
with each
hopefully
other. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And then we can kind of help people kind of venture out and break that stigma of their own and just kind of help themselves, maybe help each other in the process.
Oh, yeah. I think that's one of the most exciting aspects about this idea when we came together is I'm medicated and I'm staying with my medication. It's what's helping me. You're weaning off your medication, and I've been on that journey with you and seen
Yeah.
changes and watched you do great. Um, I take a different approach to supporting people. You have a slightly different approach, but both is very successful. Both is very diverse. And, I think that we're going to reach a lot of people, some that'll maybe associate or align and relate more to me than you, and then more to you than me, or both of us together. And
Yeah,
especially through all of our social medias, like, yeah, it's us talking back and forth like a coffee chat, but our social medias, all of our platforms, is going to open up the conversation even more with everyone. So
100%.
definitely make sure you check out our social pages. Links will be in our information bio on YouTube, all of that good stuff.
Exactly. And the more we do this and the more we branch out, the more hopefully the larger reach we'll have, and we can kind of draw people in, people who can relate and interact with us and react to the episodes, and basically just
So,
kind of allow people to get involved, really. In the long run,
yeah.
we aim to have people who are involved physically. We're going to hope to have people kind of come onto the podcast, not
Yes.
necessarily an interview, but again, a peer to peer kind of approach,
Yeah.
from
Yes.
all walks of life, from all different ages, and from wherever they are in the world. Everybody's
Mhm.
human being, and everybody suffers. Uh,
Yep.
Everybody may suffer in their own way, but at the end of the day, we're all together in this. And as
Yep.
this episode is called, you are not alone. So, what
We've
can we
got you.
expect from A Brighter Life?
I think we kind of covered a lot of it, right? Every episode is going to be individual, like you touched on. So we're going to focus very specifically on one topic per episode, or at least try to. With ADHD Ash here, she kind of goes off on tangents.
Yeah, I think in
But yeah,
reality, though, I think when you talk about one mental health struggle,
yeah.
a lot of other things kind of under an umbrella will kind of merge into that. So if we're talking, for
Mm-hmm.
example, about imposter syndrome, we may other things might pop up in that as well, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, depression, loneliness, the
Oh yeah.
facade of imposter syndrome, and again, as we talk about other topics as well,
Yep.
other areas of mental health may kind of pop up as well. But we will try to
Mm-hmm.
keep it to one topic per podcast. But we
Yep.
will kind of we'll look at we'll kind of expand on each one and kind of look into it a bit further out further afield, so to speak. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, we're going to be uploading or try to upload every 2 weeks on a new
Roughly.
topic.
Yep.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much how we're going to approach it and see
Yeah.
where we get with that, really. And
Yeah.
just see how we can help each other and help everybody else along the way. And I imagine it's going to be one journey and one journey and a half.
Right. I think one of the things we've always said since we first became friends was, um, we're in the same boat, right? Like, our we're kind of going in the same direction. How we got to our boat is a little bit different,
Yeah.
but we're in the same boat. And you might be in your own boat feeling like you're just floating out on the sea, but we're coming up, and eventually we'll all be on the same yacht sipping like prosecco or Dom Perignon, and just having a blast. And yeah, just know it's okay to still cry. You can be happy and sad, right? Like, so many things.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, just to reiterate, like, we're not, like we said, we're not medical professionals. So any information we provide, we will back that up with resources, right? You're really good at your research.
Yeah,
Um, any of the coping skills or tips that we give is, again, purely anecdotal. It's what's helped us. May not help you, or maybe it's new and something that you can try. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Just keep trying, right? Don't give up just because one thing doesn't fit with you.
exactly. In each episode as well, we will look at medical tips and we'll have a look at formal information from the internet and other areas of expertise, and we'll try to provide some tips which are medically not guaranteed but medically kind of approved to try and kind of experiment with that. But we'll also provide a list of tips as well that we do personally, so we'll kind of give some insights on how we cope and our coping mechanisms, and
Mhm.
basically how we try to not necessarily prevent the mental health struggles but cope with them.
Live with them, right? It doesn't define you, but it is a part of you for now, at least. Some of it may be with you forever, some of it may go away.
Exactly.
The other thing that I super advocate for, when I've always advocated for mental health, is, in my previous relationships, right? My partners struggled to support me because not only did I not understand, not only was I not diagnosed and thus medicated or treated properly, they didn't know how to support me. And so it was just constantly butting heads or things getting worse. So
Yeah,
I definitely want this to also reach out and have information. So if you have somebody that's supporting you and you think this might help them to understand what you're going through a little bit better, maybe you can't put it into the words. We'll also have hopefully really good information that will help the people that are supporting you. So that way it doesn't impact their mental health either. I know
exactly.
my previous relationship, it was a teeter-totter, right? Like, he'd be up and I'd be down, and so he would kinda get down with me, trying to bring me up, and I'd get up, and then he'd be down, and it would just we were never up really at the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's more like it was more like a mental health seesaw more than anything.
Seesaw, yeah, teeter-totter seesaw, exactly, exactly, yeah, and and that definitely needs to change, and the biggest thing with that, right, is owning your own feelings, not owning theirs, and that is really hard, especially when you're an empath.
Exactly.
It's so hard.
That's it. Everybody is completely unique and individual, and everybody has different
Mhm,
coping mechanisms. And, sometimes people develop these kind of ailments later on in life, something that they didn't have before. You could be mid marriage, for something to, kind of just develop from there. I mean, a lot of people have ADHD and it's not diagnosed until later on in life. It's not something that you hit
mhm,
the age of 14 and it's stamped down and go, right, there we go.
mhm,
That's what you have. Some people
mhm.
are diagnosed a lot later in life and you could have been married for, a long time before
10
it's even
years.
noticed. Yeah. And you've struggled
Yeah,
before and before you actually kind of integrate this into any kind of relationship or friendships or even families.
yep,
If it's a parent or even a son or a daughter, it's
yep,
it is what it is at that time, and that at that point is that's when you deal with it, and that's pretty much how you approach it there and then, really.
mhm, yeah, and anything, right? For me, yeah, it is ADHD, that's a big part of my depression, my anxiety, and going, "Why can't I just be normal? I can't be normal, I can't get this right. I should just stop being a cancer in my family's life and just end it," right? I've had those thoughts,
Yeah,
um, pre-diagnosis, and now I just wonder, like, my mom passed away, my brother passed away, I'm out on my own, so relationships have ended just shortly after being diagnosed with ADHD, and here I am 3 years out, and I just wonder, like, how would those relationships have been so different if I
yeah,
had known sooner?
yeah, exactly. And you can't really change time, but at the end of the day
Mhm,
you can try to change your life. And you can never go back in time, but truth be
mhm,
told, you can always try to make it better, and you can always try to, improve things for the future. And hopefully, that's something that we can between us
mhm,
work out and solve and see what we can do.
yeah. I mean, you know me, me and my mom's biggest thing ever since I was a kid with all of our struggles, right, is taking a quote from probably not the most culturally appropriate movie or book now, but it's tattooed right on me as soon as my mom passed away.
Yeah,
After all, tomorrow is another day. We always have another chance to do it again tomorrow.
and
Do
that's
better
it.
tomorrow.
That is it. Amen to that.
Mhm. Preach.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, that was a nice little introduction for both of us. Again, this is episode 0, and we will be moving on to episode 1 next, which will be imposter syndrome. And we'll
I
be
don't know,
touching,
sounds kinda sus.
oh, it's a facade, but we'll be touching quite a lot on that and everything
Yes.
involving and related to imposter syndrome and what it leads to, what it stems to, and exactly what it is, and you know how to fight it.
Mhm.
So on
So,
that note,
super exciting.
yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you.
Thank you very much for listening to this first episode. As you can tell, we are both brand new to this, but I'm already enjoying it, and
Oh, it's so much fun.
I'm pretty sure we'll get better as we go along. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, never done this before. Practice makes perfect, right? And
No.
we've been practicing this intro about 15 times,
See that?
and we
And
got
that's
there.
not even including the mic test that we did for, like, an hour.
Oh, the
But
mic test was traumatic.
I do also wanna just make you completely embarrassed for 2 seconds and shout you out and say thank you, Matt. Like, having this kind of podcast has always been or even a stream. I started off as a stream and it just didn't take off very well. Like, it's
Yeah,
always been a dream. I've had things I've wanted to talk about, and now I can. And you brought this to me as an idea, and it really just like makes me all warm and fuzzy that you've included me in this, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see where we go. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm going to hit you with that emotional dumbbell. I don't think I could have done this alone, so thank you too.
Of course.
Well, thank you very
Bruise me up.
much, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Again, good morning and good
Yay.
evening. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on our first episode.
If you can't have a brighter life yet, have a brighter day.
Thank you.